The Norwegian Nobel Prize Committee awarded the 2014 Peace Prize to Malala Yousafzai of Pakistan and Kailash Satyarthi of India. The award joined a teenage Pakistani with a world-renowned Indian veteran who campaigns to end child labor and free children from trafficking. Now, Ms. Yousafzai, she's 17, and this was actually awarded to her, I think it was 2 years and a day exactly since she had been shot in the head by the Taliban because she dared to speak out for girls' education. The award was actually announced in Oslo. The committee's chairman said the Nobel Committee regards it as an important point for a Hindu and a Muslim, an Indian and a Pakistani, to join in a common struggle for education against extremism. He also said children must go to school and not be financially exploited. It is a prerequisite for peaceful global development that the rights of children and young people be respected. In conflict-ridden areas in particular, the violation of children leads to the continuation of violence from generation to generation.
I couldn't love this award more. I think they did a perfect job with this.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that it's a Pakistani and an Indian at the same time. I love that it's both people who are trying to protect children, give them an education, give them a better way out, give them knowledge, right? And the symbolism is great. Unfortunately, they're still fighting in Kashmir. In the most recent fighting, 11 Pakistanis and 8 Indian villagers were killed by Friday, okay? So in the midst of nonstop fighting amongst their people, which because of so many other wars in the world, we don't talk about that much, but it's still going on. They're united, and the Indians are incredibly proud that this guy has won in their camp. And the Pakistanis, even the ones that were fighting against Malala, okay, and the ones that had all these insane conspiracy theories about how Malala is a Western agent and the West overhyped her getting shot in the head. How do you overhype getting shot in the head?
You either get shot in the head or you don't get shot in the head.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a zero-sum game there. So it's pretty binary. Even those people in the Swat Valley in Pakistan are like, hey, a Pakistani won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's kind of cool, right? And they were excited by it. It's just a great job by the committee. Now, it's a little bit of a letdown for Malala because she had already won Turk of the Year 2 years ago, the first ever Turk of the Year that we awarded. So winning the Nobel Peace Prize, it's like it's a nice afterthought.
She'll probably throw this one in the bathroom. So if people need to pee, they'll see the Nobel Peace Prize.
What I've got to stop doing is holding a picture of Malala up again in front of my teenage daughter and saying, "So, what have you done lately?"
Oh my God, you don't talk about expectations. So that's a part of the story that I love. She's of course the youngest ever recipient. She's 17 years old. They pulled her out of chemistry class to tell her that she had won the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay. How amazing is that? Well, no, I'm not sure any 17-year-old will ever be able to live up to that.
And now you don't want to be the teacher that doesn't give her an A. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't see off the glare of my Nobel Peace Prize. Is that a C, Mrs.
Right. I remember I won some math contest when I was like in 6th grade, and the principal was saying, "Oh, congratulations," and announced my name over the loudspeaker. So, "Congratulations for winning the math contest, Sanka Weiger." And I was like, "Oh," and then I got called Sanka, for like a year.
Delicious beverage, Jane.
Right. So, do you think that maybe some of the kids are teasing her, like, "Oh, okay, Miss Nerd winning the Nobel Peace Prize"?
I'd be like, "Bring it." You can't even, as sarcastically as you say it, it still can't sound bad. Oh, Nobel Peace Prize winner. It still sounds pretty good.
You sound like a Republican after Obama won it.
So, hey, we're super proud of her, but it's not just her. Look, the gentleman from India who won,
Kailash Satyarthi.
Yeah, who honestly is not as famous, that's why I was grabbing for his name, has done, decades of work in trying to liberate kids, not just from trafficking, okay, but also from forced labor. And he personally has led to the liberation of 75,000 kids.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it makes all of our lives seem so insignificant.
Meaningless.
Yeah, and I'm ecstatic that there's at least one day where we get to celebrate these amazing people who've done so much goodness in the world. I know it's a little cliche, but there's so much bad news in the world that we constantly talk about. To see these heroes and how you can actually change the world if you actually try, right? And whether you're a 17-year-old girl or a 60-year-old guy who's been doing it for a long time, it's great to see.
Yeah, and they're both doing the same work in a way. And when he says, you know, that you want to break the cycle of violence from generation to generation, it was just really kind of poetic and cool to see a 17-year-old and a 60-year-old win together.
Yep. To give you a sense of how much you can make a change in the world, and I didn't know this until today, doing research for the Nobel Peace Prize, that there is 168 million child laborers around the world today. Okay. So that's a terrible number, right?
168 million?
168 million, right? But in 2000, just 14 years ago, that number was 78 million higher.
Oh, wow.
So we have eliminated 78 million kids from having to do forced labor in the last 14 years.
It's because Nike and Adidas aren't selling as many clothes.
So look, there is a part of it where we have non-regulated capitalism run amok, okay, which doesn't necessarily represent all capitalism, okay, fundamentalist capitalists out there who don't mind using child labor as long as it saves a buck or two. And there's great guys like this going around and saying, not on my watch, and by the way, at great personal risk, oftentimes, right? And goes in and says, you can't do this. And it's not that he personally liberates 75,000, as we talked about, but it's the effects, the ripple effect that winds up having all across the world.
You're changing reform, you're changing policies, and now these kids have a chance to be kids.